In this video, we'll show you how to create and assign work schedules where you define how your employees' vacation time, overtime, and deficit hours will be calculated. Work schedules allow your employees to record the days and hours that they work, and they allow Personio to calculate their vacation entitlement and track overtime. They allow you to define which days are days off when calculating vacation and sickness periods, and to define required working hours, so that overtime and deficit hours can be tracked, which you can choose to pay for or to convert into time off. Step 1. Define work schedules. To set up work schedules, you first need to think about your company's needs. Do you have any part-time employees, and do they work the same days each week, or are they flexible? Do you want to track overtime for your employees? If so, do you want to do this on a daily or a weekly basis? Will you look at tracking deficit hours for your employees? These can then be offset against the employee's overtime balance. Do you want to define how long breaks should be for certain amounts of working hours, so that employees and improvers can be notified if taking too little or too much break time? Should the absence entitlement be proportional to the amount of days in the work schedule? So for example, a worker who works 3 days a week gets 3/5 of the full-time amount. When calculating this amount, what reference value should be used? So 5 days in our example. Step 2. Create a work schedule. Once you've decided what work schedules you need, you can start to set them up. To create one, go to Settings, Work Hours and Absences, Attendance, and give it a recognizable name like Full-Time 40 Hours. And then define how many hours your employees should work each day and their breaks. Start and end times are guidelines only, and employees can enter hours at any time. Select Yes to track overtime, and select whether to calculate on a daily or a weekly basis. Under Overtime Cliff, set a number of overtime hours to include in the monthly salary, which is ignored when calculating overtime. If you select daily, you can choose to track deficit hours, and also choose whether to track them for days with no time tracked. If you do this, deficit hours will start being generated immediately, so you should only use this option once your employees are actively tracking hours. Under Break Rules, set if the employers and approvers are notified when an employee enters incorrect breaks. You can add up to 2 rules with the break time required for a specific amount of working hours. To prorate the absence entitlement, select Yes and set a reference value to use in the calculation. So let's show how work schedules are used. So employee A works full-time with a 5-day, 40-hour week, Monday to Friday, while employee B works part-time with a 3-day, 24-hour week, Monday, Tuesday and Thursday. And employee C works part-time with a 3-day, 20-hour week, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. We would set up 3 different work schedules for each of these employee types and name them accordingly. This will affect how vacation entitlements and requests work for each of these 3 employee types. The employees will receive a vacation entitlement proportional to the amount of days in the work schedule. If they request a week off from Sunday to Saturday, the results will be different. Similarly, if they request time off from Sunday to Wednesday, the result will be based on their work schedule also, as it would if they requested vacation from Wednesday to Saturday. Step 3. Assign work schedules. Once you've set up your work schedules, you can now set which one is the default and assign the rest to the correct employee. Leave entitlements are recalculated if you assign a new work schedule after the entitlement has been granted, usually on January 1st. To set which work schedule is assigned to all employees by default, select the relevant work schedule and enable Make Default Schedule. If you don't do this, the first one in the list will be assigned instead. To assign a work schedule to an employee, go to their employee profile, Attendance. Click on the 3 dots next to Work Hours and Schedule, select Change Schedule, choose a schedule and set the date that it applies from. You can also assign a work schedule to multiple employees at the same time in the employee list. Tick the checkboxes beside the employees, click on Actions, select Assign or Remove Work Schedule, choose one and set the date it applies from. Step 4. Project-based time tracking. You can create projects with project-based time tracking to let employees track the time worked on particular projects. So to create a project, go to Settings, Work Hours and Absences, Attendance, Projects, and give it a name. Tick the Available for Attendance Tracking checkbox to allow employees to record the hours they worked on it. Projects with time tracking activated are marked with a check mark. Congratulations! You have learned how to create and assign work schedules, so you can now define how your employees' vacation time, overtime, and deficit hours are managed.